Happy Saturday. Today is Saturday, August 22nd, and I'm here in the park with my friend Cody.
Hey.
Who I threatened all of you at the beginning of the year that I would bring Cody in, and I'm making good on that threat.
I'm here.
Yeah. It is week 34 of 2020. Today being the 22nd means that tomorrow is my dad's birthday, so I'll be talking about that next week's vlog. I do really wish that this COVID thing wasn't going on the way that it is and we could go visit him. It's his 70th birthday, so it's kind of a big one, but hopefully next year on his 71st, maybe all this will be blown over and we'll be able to go visit, so that would be nice. I brought Cody in today mainly just because I like Cody. Now, I've talked a little bit in the vlog about our friendship and about what I like about how we bounce ideas off each other and how cool that is. I just really so much appreciate our friendship.
Thank you.
We're going to start off today's vlog with the word of the week. Cody didn't realize this until today.
No.
Or didn't remember, but he came up with the idea in the first place.
Huh.
It's true. We were sitting at a kitchen table and in my house. You said, you know what you need to do. And whenever you say that, I always listen.
No, I do remember this because I said you should film your kids' reactions to you using their slang correctly.
And I haven't really gotten around to that because doing this type of video stuff is actually more work than it looks like.
Oh yeah, for
That's
sure.
why I only do it once a week.
Sure.
So what else do you remember about the first time that you brought up the idea?
I remember because I was saying because I think you were talking about Brian had got some new shoes he was really proud of, and he came up to you and he asked you how do I look, and you know how he talked.
Yeah.
And
actually, what he said was, "How you like my drip?"
Oh, did he say drip?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I said that's what it was because I knew it was about the word drip, and I just said wouldn't it just be hilarious for you to grab Jill and just be like, oh, look at our young dripping young man or whatever.
Dripping young man.
Or whatever.
The boys, I was asking them last night which words I should use, and they mentioned sus.
Okay.
And they mentioned cheeks.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Sus was more easy for me. They couldn't tell me what the origin of cheeks was. No, it was it was like an insult to say that was cheeks.
Well, yeah, because it's saying that's butt cheeks. That's not good.
Oh, that's the origin of it. Okay.
It just anytime you hear cheeks as in regards to a butt.
They couldn't tell me that. They didn't. Yeah, they were that far removed from.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
the thing I'm finding that's strange.
That's really weird because that's obvious to me.
These words of the week, a lot of times I have to look up the meanings to find out the background of it because the kids are using them but don't know the background.
Yeah, or and
that's not a very far background for cheeks.
Yeah, that wasn't hard. What do you feel like you've learned hearing all of the Gen Z words?
I have learned that, first of all, teenage lingo is every generation.
Yeah.
And it's, in my opinion, it's a way for us to differentiate ourselves from the adults.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And to have a kind of a secret language. Who doesn't like to have a secret code language?
Yeah.
And I think that's what the kids love in every generation. Is
yeah.
that they have something that's their own.
For sure.
And they're moving out on their own, and they get to have a feeling like this is new, this is us, this has never been done before.
Sure.
Which is not true, but
yeah,
it's always been done for every teenage year.
Yeah. I think the word of the day today should be what is a word that you remember from being a teenager or what's a way of saying things or something that you remember that dropped off hard, or the ways that everybody talks, everybody in the 80s talked like this, and they did, but there's probably a few things that slipped through the cracks that people don't remember. So do you remember how you talked back then?
I remember a little bit of it. I mean, there's words that were obviously very 80s.
Yeah.
Awesome was very 80s. It still gets used today, but it's not the same connotation, I don't think. When people it's not as overly used as it was.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
There was also the term bad, which was good.
Yeah.
Bad was a very 80s thing. I don't hear too many people.
Did you say that?
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time. Everything was bad. Oh man, that's bad. And my dad would get so confused. He's like, so bad is good? I'm like, yeah, Dad, if you can't get it, you don't understand.
Good.
You know? But Dad always liked to have himself, he loved the distance, I think, between us as teenagers as much as we did. Okay, so last Sunday we got the new basketball hoop. I don't know if you've seen the new basketball hoop
No,
yet.
I haven't.
It hasn't been in the vlog yet because it was last Sunday. So we got it set up, and I did a bunch of video. I'll put a bunch of that in this vlog here of the setup. It was craziness putting it together because there was the 3 boys and myself all trying to coordinate and put it. It was a mess, but
So
we finally got it up.
Is it just like the base?
It's the freestanding
Sure,
kinds,
yeah.
but we got the largest backboard that you can get, like a 60-inch backboard.
Wow.
That was kind of cool because we went over to Academy and played against sports. They didn't have any. They said they couldn't even keep them on the shelf. Walmart said they didn't have any in the store, but we went in there anyway, and they had 4 different ones, even though their system said they didn't. And this one was one that Brian wanted most. And online it was over $700. At Walmart it was $350,
Wow.
$340, and it fit in the car with margin of about a centimeter on either side.
That's amazing.
Speaking of parents, I got to talk with my dad and my mom and stepdad on Sunday. Hadn't talked with them in quite some time. Monday, of course, I worked. And what else is in my notes here? Pictures, TRS cable. Oh, yeah, I don't know why that was notable. I got a cable that's smaller than I thought it was, and it works better. It's this little one that's on the camera right now.
That's funny.
The other one was big and honking and was flopping around.
That's super funny.
Yeah, so that was significant to me apparently on Monday.
Wow.
And played a little bit of basketball with Ben at my lunch break on Monday. We decided pig was too short of a game, horse was too long of a game, so we played Yoda. And I lost.
Lost you did.
Lost you did. Yes, that's what I should have been saying the whole time.
Yeah, what's wrong?
Of course. I've been watching old interviews that I've done in the past. I watched one with a friend of mine's grandparents, Peggy and Paul. They had their 70th wedding anniversary.
That was one of your very first, right?
One of my very first, yeah. And I rewatched that, and I still love it, although there's things, every time you do something creative, you look back on something, you're like, oh, I'd like to change that. I wish I had that. But I'm loving watching some of the old stuff. Tuesday, I watched my Grandpa Chuck's interview again because my Uncle Chuck Jr., he had sent me a text saying he wanted a DVD of that, and I don't have DVD burning equipment anymore. But I put it up privately on YouTube so that my Uncle Chuck could download it and put it on a DVD himself. Of course, doing that, I'm like, oh, I want to watch this again. So I watched the whole thing again of Grandpa. It's 2 hours, but it was, I just love it. Now that he's been gone for 4 years, I just miss him so much. Watching these videos, I see new thing in the same video because of my own life experience changing.
Wow.
You know, so now when I hear him talk about business and some of the business stuff that I've been through, it means so much more to me. Oh, and also I wanted to get in there and I want to give it the treatment like I did Peg and Polly's, where I put in extra pictures and B-roll type stuff, all that kind of thing.
Definitely.
Had Taco Tuesday that day with Dirk and Ben over at Jose Loco's. Is that bee bothering me? No.
Okay, now it might be.
No, yeah. And this is the fun thing about recording in the park. Go away. That'll look fun in fast forward, won't it?
Oh no, it's back.
Note to self, next time bring bug spray. Had breakfast on Wednesday as well with my friend Noah, and we talked about magnet fishing, which is his new hobby that he's doing, where you take a magnet and throw it in the water and you drag it through the water and see what kind of iron comes up. Really heavy duty magnets. It's kind of a neat thing. And I'll talk to him also about the new hobby I want to start, which is kite aerial photography.
Oh yeah.
Have I told you about that?
Yeah, you mentioned it.
I'm a afraid the bugs are going to come back, so I want to go really fast. The 306 Hollywood documentary. Did I tell you about that?
No.
Oh, it is amazing.
Okay.
My sister had been she'd been very insistent. I wanted to say hounding, but she wasn't. She was very insistent several different times that I needed to watch.
Okay.
And she never does that. But I found out why as soon as I started to watch it. It's a documentary by a brother and sister, directors, writers. Every year from their grandmother's 84th birthday to 94th birthday or something, for 10 years. They had interviewed her once a year, asking her 80-something questions in that time frame. And their grandmother's very colorful, very neat person. She had been a fashion designer. She's a New Jersey Jewish lady, very, very cool. Documentary is all about, after grandma died, processing how to go through the grieving process and how to learn as much about grandma as they could. And they started getting rid of the stuff in her house so they could sell her house. And then they realized, well, we can't do this. There's so much memories and things here. And they decided instead to do something crazy, and they treated her whole house like an archaeological dig. And they took all the things that were related to each other and put them in neat catalogs and photographed and videoed those catalogs. So it would be like all of her fingernail polish.
Wow.
All of her Band-Aid cases. She had like 7 of them, and most of them had coins in them. One had Band-Aids, and all these different things. And then they did the same thing with their grandpa's stuff, that he'd been dead for a long time, and their uncle, he had lived with them too. So they cataloged and made portraits of each of their things, and the way that they do it, the artfulness of it is so beautiful. They really gave it a full artistic treatment of this whole story. They went in and they made a scale model dollhouse of grandma's house so that they could pan from room to room. Oh, our bug's back. Okay, so let's try and finish this up. We got this bug.
So, super cool document. Where is it?
It's on, what did I watch on? Amazon Prime.
Okay, cool.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Just distracted. Thursday, somehow I wrote down a General George Patton quote. Why did I write that down?
Say it out loud.
The quote is, "Never tell people how to do things, tell them what to do, and they will surprise you with their ingenuity." Oh, I know what it was.
Okay.
A friend of mine at work, she's really frustrated with her new manager, who's a micromanager, and is constantly telling her how to do all of her things rather than telling her what needs to be done and letting her be the smart person to figure it out and do her own job.
Sure.
And I got I got my hackles up about that, because it just really bugs me. Yeah. Why are you laughing at that?
Because it hackles.
Oh, because hackles. That's an old term, isn't it? Yeah. I got the hair on the back of my neck up. Whatever you want to say.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, no, I knew what you meant. It was funny.
So I got upset about that. And so I shared that quote with her and just kind of encouraged her that, yeah, she's right. She shouldn't be micromanaged. She needs to find a way to talk to her manager and let her know, hey, let me do what I've been doing for 20 years.
Definitely.
And so I can do it well for you, and you can just be surprised at how I get it done. So I hope I encouraged her. Thursday also is when I got the new monopod, this one that this camera's on, which of course I can't show you because I'm recording on it.
We'll show you what it does.
Yeah. This thing is really cool. It's the best monopod I've ever had.
No, I just mean like
weighted at the bottom.
Like when you put it at the bottom, you see how the camera's not moving? Yeah. That's what the monopod does.
Well, and camera geeks get caught up in this stuff because we want to make things as easy as possible, as lightweight or as user friendly, all that kind of stuff. And there's so much gear out there that just falls short. Yeah. You buy it for one thing and you realize, oh, but it's terrible at this and this and all these other things. Sure. And so I finally found a monopod after 4 years that does everything that I need it to do.
That's cool.
And it's made by a guy, a YouTuber. His YouTube channel is Best360. And he's in London, and he's been working on this for a long time too. And I'm really happy to support his channel by purchasing this from him.
Sure,
as well. Also got the new camera bag. So very first time I've had a camera bag that's that user friendly. Sure. And I showed you some of the ways that's.
It's pretty cool.
The camera bags that I've had in the past they weren't camera bags. First of all,
they're big, just like
they're just a backpack where it's a black hole of all your gear down inside, and the only way to get it so you can use it is to dump it all out.
It's pretty slick. Yeah.
Yeah. This one has compartments, and it's really cool. So I'm geeking out a little bit this week on the tech side of things, and I don't normally talk about that stuff in the weekly vlog because my focus is our family diary.
Of course. But this is you, though.
This is me, and also I was thinking today, you know, what if my grandkids did something like the 306 Hollywood documentary after I'm gone, and they're looking through all my crap, and they're going, why did Grandpa have all of these widgets and whatsits and stuff for the camera gear thing? These things, nobody uses these anymore. Well, they were top of the line when I bought them.
Well, yeah, sure.
You know? And when they're looking at them 30 years from now, it's like us looking back at a reel-to-reel recorder.
Yeah.
Or a VHS tape.
For sure.
You know, nobody even has a VHS player. Well, I have one, but that's just because I'm digitized. But anyway.
Definitely, yeah.
So I just thought that was funny. I did a little thinking on Thursday for creativity type of stuff about, you know, just the DIY world that we're in. And it was just cool to me to think about the fact that for anything you want to DIY work on, you can pretty much almost always find something out there, somebody else that's tried something similar. That is so utterly different from, you were asking me about my teen years in the 80s. It's even completely different than the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, until the advent of the popularity of the internet, there was no way that people could get that kind of information. You had to go to the library and try and find a book that someone had published about how to build a treehouse or whatever it is that you wanted to do. So I was really impressed thinking about that today, or on Thursday, and that was because this guy John Aldred that I was talking with on a Facebook group, I had asked him about, somehow we were talking about batteries. This guy sent, you know, typed out a ton of stuff on battery stuff, and I basically told him, I said, dude, you know more about batteries
than I'll ever forget
than I know about any one topic in my life. You know?
That's so funny.
And so my thought on that for that day was just, what an amazing time to be alive, for all the resources that we have available to us and all the technology that's so super simple and easy to use these days. And we can do stuff like this, us sitting out in the park with a couple of cameras and have wireless audio, and you know. So Friday was yesterday, organized my new camera pack. Oh, the boys had their friend Jonah over, and we played some basketball. We did a fire pit in the backyard, roasted marshmallows, laughed, and got stupid. Saturday is today. We're experimenting with the stuff in the park right here. Oh, and dang it, the reason I wanted to do the park was because I wanted to do HDR recording on this. High dynamic range, and I didn't turn it on HDR. It's on, but it'll still turn out great.
Well, you know what we could do is we could go walk around, and if you had a thing to like hold it, we could like go do some things around.
Well, the problem is HDR has to be stationary.
Do you want to do a bonus segment in HDR to like
let's try it.
You might as well, right? Like real creativity is a holistic thing, and we need to talk about it more. I think as you get away from creativity, the less emotional it becomes.